This video will focus on organizational ideas as well as descriptions of all my charts and tools. To begin, I highly suggest you store them in this easy fashion: a file folder with 2 pockets inside. On page 232 is this opinion chant. I like to put it on the cover because this is how we begin our opinion writing, through this chant. Inside this file folder, I have tools and templates. We'll go to the templates next. There are many different templates. On page 233, you have the Black Line Master of SO Team. I put the Black Line Master on one side, and then on the reverse side, I put SO Team. I can laminate this and then I can write on it and erase it over and over again when I'm instructing students how to complete this organizer. I like to have both of these for my instruction because I eventually show students you don't need to fill in the organizer, you're just going to write SO Team. I also have my direction sheet for writing Stage 8 essays, where I have my 3 boxes here with the directions for the introduction, for the body when you're writing your teams, and also for the conclusion paragraph. You display this as you're walking through your essays, but also your students can use this to follow when they're writing their own Stage 8 opinion essays. On page 264, you have your chant. When you're introducing your essay, you always want to start off with the chant. On the reverse side, you would have your directions you would follow for your essay lesson. On page 267, I have a Black Line Master of the organizer that students could fill in for writing their Stage 8 essays for opinion writing. And on the reverse side, I have the 4 lines drawn where I just label it, because this is a temporary organizer. Only if your students need to have that when you first begin your essays. Ultimately, you want students to draw their own templates where they have their introduction, their teams in the middle, and then their conclusion paragraph. There's the templates for both Stage 7 and 8 that you would store here in your file folder. And in our other pocket, I have an opinion writing tools booklet. Duplicate pages 291 through 315 back to back. Then staple them together. The tools are designed to follow how you fill in your organizer. Notice, because you've duplicated this tool booklet back to back and stapled it, you have your cover, you open it up, and you have facing pages for writing the summary part of your opinions. On page 292 is the Be Polite, Summarize for the Text. The top box is when you're summarizing for narrative text. The bottom part is when you're summarizing for informational text. Page 293 is when you're summarizing for the topic using a hook and background. You have your hook stems, and then you have the process you walk through in order to form that summary, the background that leads to your opinion for a topic. So there's our S, the summary for SO Team. Whether it's a text or a topic, let's look at our tools for O, opinion. On page 294, these are different phrases that you could use before you state your opinion. And on the facing page are the steps that you go through in order to form the opinion statement. We have our who or what is the subject or topic of my opinion, and down below, what do I think or feel? And these are ideas that I can go into to form an opinion. We've used all these tools. Now they can be put together and easily found in this booklet. Let's go to the next 2 pages. On page 296, these are your transitions for all the parts for O Team. On page 297, these are transitions only for the different teams, the body paragraphs. On page 298 are transitions for information. The top box is for the first team in your body paragraph, and the bottom box is for the second, third, fourth team that you may have in the body of your opinion paper. On the facing page are transitions, but specifically for narratives. On pages 300, 301 are the evidence tools. On the left side, on page 300, is a sample of how this chart would look filled in. The facing page is a blank copy for you to use and guide this thinking when you're teaching your students how to record evidence. On pages 302, 303 are words and phrases that students can use as a resource when they're expanding their opinion. On pages 304 and 305, we have our analyze charts. On page 304 is when we analyze using the opposite boxes. On the following page, we have the why or how boxes that we use in order to analyze our evidence. On pages 306, 307 are the M in team for Make It Matter. Our Make It Matter has our different ways that we help students figure out how to make their evidence in their team matter. On pages 308, 309, we have our conclusion pages. We want to repeat the opinion, but our conclusion is going to say that opinion using different words. 308 is the conclusion page completed to show a sample of how it works. On the facing page is a blank blackline master in which you can use to demonstrate this process. On pages 310, 311, we have the tools for reflection. 2 different charts that students can use as a resource to try to help form a reflection. On pages 312, 313, if you were trying to form an opinion about a theme in a narrative, these 2 pages are what are typical themes. On pages 314 and 315, I have listed themes for topics in any of your core subjects. On the left page, when it comes to a topic, these are non-fiction narratives, autobiography, biographies, or recounts, listed themes that are typical in those different types of texts. On the facing page are the other types of text that your students would be reading for information, and that's your expository text, where you have your introduction, your body, your conclusion. I have listed below common themes that you will see in social studies, in science, and in any of your technical subjects. This ends our description of how you can organize all of your writing tools for stages 7 and 8 of opinion writing, and how they can be stored in 2 simple pockets so that your students and you can use them as a resource when writing opinions. I hope you find these tools are helpful in your instruction as well as for your students when they're writing their own opinions, but also that it's easy for you to grab these tools and find them when you're teaching or when students need them in their own process of writing.